Get the most out of your vehicle with GM Genuine Parts and AC Delco Original Equipment. The only parts designed, engineered, tested, and backed by General Motors. You can find your perfect fit for most makes and models and choose from 3 tiers of parts, including GM OE or gold and silver aftermarket parts. Visit gmparts.com for more information.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sunday morning. Let's go to Ohio. What's going on in Ohio? With us today is Robert Sprague, and he is the 49th Ohio Treasurer, and now he's running for re-election as the Secretary of State. And Robert Sprague, good to talk to you on a Sunday morning. Tell us what the heck is going on in Ohio. Ohio is a big swing state. Tell us.
Yes. Well, thanks for having me on, John, and let me bring you greetings from the middle of the country. And I can tell you, Ohio's turning into that battleground state once again. And, you know, I think you're looking at the Susan Collins, the Maine Senate seat that's in play, the Tom Tillis North Carolina Senate seat is in play, the Alaska Senate seat is in play, and, you know, the Ohio Senate seat between John Husted, that race, John's very, very strong and good, versus Sherrod Brown on the Democrat side, will probably determine control of the United States Senate. So it has national implications. And look, it's being able to talk with a lot of the people who are the blue-collar workers in the state of Ohio that still make things and move things in our state, and being able to connect with them. And that's what this election is going to come down to. And then may also have a dramatic effect in the presidential race in 2028. And, you know, I'm running to be Secretary of State, but that's why the security and the integrity of the elections is so important, because we want to make sure that we get it right and we reflect the views of the people and the votes of the people of the state of Ohio. And I know you do that in New York, too.
Well, absolutely. And we got so many problems in our country, and we're lucky that, we're going to celebrate our 250th year. And I worry because after President Biden, if Harris would have won, I would worry if we would get to the 300th year.
Look, I agree with you. I'm right there. And I can tell you that it's so interesting what sort of things are going on across our nation. And one of the things that you look at in Ohio is we have a very good candidate that's running for governor. His name is Vivek Ramaswamy, and he has national ties. And I just want to tell you, I think that he's got some great ideas about how to make life more affordable for Ohioans and at the same time be able to increase people's wages. And when you're going out and you're talking with people, that's one of the number one issues. We want the economy to be strong, and people trust Republicans to be able to do that. And the other thing that people trust Republicans to do is to have secure elections with integrity. And my goal as Secretary of State in Ohio is to make sure that we run the most secure elections in the history of our state. And we do some different things from New York, the way that we run our elections. One of the things that I want to do when I'm Secretary of State is to make sure that we move to a front-end citizenship check, so that we check if you're an American citizen before you get to be registered to vote in our state. And I don't know if New York does that or not.
No, New York, we have a much worse problem than Ohio does. And, this is a national story. We're on nationally this morning. And the fact California is even worse than all of us. Illinois is worse than all of us. And Ohio is a big swing state, so it's very important that you guys do things right. Tell me about Vivek's race. That's an important race for governor. And tell us about your Senate races.
Yeah, so Vivek's race is going to be critical to the future of our state. One of the things that we've seen during the war with Iran is that we have to be able to produce more for our defense and industrial base. And a lot of that is drone technology, it's robotics, It's the future of making us strong as a country and our defense strong. And, we still manufacture those things in Ohio. Matter of fact, we have one of the largest aeronautical parts producing companies on the face of the earth. That's a strength for us, and I think you're going to see good Republican leadership that recognizes that our defense industrial base needs investment, and it will encourage that, not just for the strength of the nation, but also for our economy. Also, energy production is incredibly important. We have the Marcellus and the Utica Shale. If you take Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, you combine them into a country, it's the third largest natural gas producing nation on the face of the earth. And so Vivek has got a great vision as to how we increase jobs, the number of jobs in our state. We invest in our infrastructure and at the same time in our defense industrial base. Now, with regards to this John Husted, Sherrod Brown race, look, Sherrod Brown has presided over something like $30 trillion of federal spending over his 40-year plus career in the United States Senate and in the United States government. I think that Ohioans are tired of him because he's just not produced for the state. And John Husted is a new face. He's been very strong. Used to be Secretary of State and then Lieutenant Governor. Did some incredible things for the economy of the state of Ohio. It's one of the reasons why Intel made a huge investment in a chip plant in Columbus, Ohio. And we are beginning to reinvest in ourselves. And it's because of the work that John Husted did as Lieutenant Governor. And he's done a great job in the United States Senate, being one of the leading proponents of the Save America Act, which, as you know, requires photo ID to be able to vote nationally across all the states. I think Congress should pass that. And one of the things we're going to do in the state of Ohio is that if Congress can't pass that, we're going to make sure that we require photo ID for everybody that shows up in person and also the people that are casting mail-in ballots in Ohio. It's the most fundamental security measure that we have to run elections with integrity, is simply making sure that people are who they say they are, and people should have to show photo ID to buy beer or cigarettes or go to the airport and fly or rent a car. It's a fundamental security measure that we're going to implement in Ohio, and John Husted has pushed for in the United States Senate. So I'm very optimistic about that race. John's going to do a great job.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. And you're running for Secretary of State, and we're looking for Ohio to turn red.
We will turn red once again, John, and I think it's our candidates and the leadership of our president that are going to do that for Ohio. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Thank you so much for coming on, and let's stay in touch.
Very good. All right. Thank you.